Well, hi, babies. Hi. Hi, little cuties. Hi, darlings. Hi, sweets. How are you? I hope this video finds you well. This is a general message, so take what resonates, leave the rest. Use your own discernment and intuition. It is also timeless, so whenever you find it, it is the right time. I will never reach out to you for personal readings because I'm not doing them. And I wouldn't do that anyway, so please report those weirdos. Bots, whatever they are. All right, let's get into it. The song, it's got 444 on my clock right quick. The song that I woke up to this morning, it was in my head when I woke up, is For the Sun by Monster Truck. Okay. If you're leaving or have left, take it as it resonates. I'm kind of getting future energy, quite honestly. The devil card pops out. I'm getting future card energy, like you haven't quite left a situation, or like let's say it's work, or honestly, it could even be like moving, and this is like your neighbors. Let's say you deal with like a HOA type thing, or some sort of enforcing agency or something. Like even them, like with that devil card, I'm getting somebody that like likes to push a lot of control on people. They might have addictions like eating, TikTok, whatever. It's an obvious addiction, smoking, or just, gossiping, whatever. Something that doesn't serve them. It doesn't keep them in their highest energy, whatever, however you want to see that. So this song says, she said she never leave. She promised she would stay, and now the darkest night has taken her away. So if this is you leaving, or, something of the sort, these people really got a lot out of controlling you, whether this is your boss, friend, family member, whatever. With it, the song being called The Sun, excuse me for yawning, you relieved by these people trying to control you and put whatever on you. You relieved some sort of pain in them by being that target, because they were able to unload on you. Yo, okay. So when I first grabbed this deck, I split it before, like, to do the first frickin' shuffle, and we have the 7 of Viking horns with the 5 of Viking horns. That's the 7 of swords and the 5 of swords. So I meant to mention that, but the cards didn't let me forget, and my guys didn't let me forget. They were always on this like winning at all costs, sneakiness, lying, cheating, stealing, whatever they can, stepping on anybody to get above, get what they want, that type of thing. This was their bag, if you will. It was their shit. And then I split it again. We have the Sun. You brought this, like, you eased their pain because they were able to, like, I'm not saying you folded to their control, but they played these games with you and did all this shit because they had a lot of pain. And now that you're gone or going, whatever, like, this is just the energy of, like, after you leave. We have the Fool card. Yeah, now that you're gone, they feel they can't ignore it. Look in the background of this card. We have the sun and it's like crying bloody tears and shit. And the dog's like straight up fucking this guy's leg up. So they tried to hold you back, like maybe they were, you know, biting at your ankles all the time. I'm seeing like one of those really annoying like fluffy white dogs, just like that won't shut up, and it's like meh, 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 got some shit to say and it has an attitude. They tried everything to hold you back, and because of their freaking wounding, like that's really all it was. We have the Queen of Skulls at the bottom of the deck, Queen of Cups. You have this like sweet, kind energy, and it's so weird. It's almost like I'm getting some people, they wanted you to break character because they didn't believe that you were a good person, so they did a lot of this shit to prove that, you know, because I'm getting like maybe their mom or somebody in their life like wasn't sweet, or you know, their dad, whatever, they weren't nice, they didn't get, excuse me, the love that they needed, you know, or the nurturing that they needed, whatever it was, the I'm trying to think of the word, encouragement. They didn't get that encouragement they needed. And so they were trying to like prove that you were on some bullshit, like for whatever reason. You know, it's like they had only experienced shitty people up until that point. And so they're like, well, I'm gonna get them to break character. I know nobody's like this. And they themselves were like that, you know, they were on that time. So that's why they had such a hard time believing that you were good or caring or genuine or whatever it is, because they wanted to be like, fuck that. They're wrong. And it's interesting that we had both major arcana come up. So this is affecting majorly. It's very heavy energy. Like I said, you leaving is like really fucking shit up with that devil card. So I'm getting here, you leaving, like I said, the sun, you kept the demons away, you kept that whatever away because you were genuine and you showed your honest heart. But they didn't know what to do with it. For one, they were on demon time, so they think that everybody else is that way. Two, your energy is just extremely healing, and that genuine care, just being real was good for them. And they don't, it's like, you don't know what you got till it's gone. You taking this leap of faith, you finally leaving, brings them back to their chains, because they're not able to feed that demon anymore with this devil card. They're not able to feed any of that, or it's you simply like blocking these people out. Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Why do we need to know this? Knight of Skulls in reverse with, oh, okay, with the Four of Bibles. So that's the Knight of Cups in reverse with the Four of Bibles in reverse. Part of me is getting this, that, okay, so this is why I started talking like that. That's you saying like, man, part of me just wants to like say and like see this thing out. Like, I know I'm making a difference. I know I'm here to make the change. It's like you're hanging out too long under this illusion that you're going to witness this. And our minds really, and our egos, we want that everything to be neatly tied up in a little bow and finished. You know, just as what you get this satisfaction when you watch a film or a TV show or whatever, and we got a gnat watching. Like you feel satisfied when it comes to like a neat little ending. Everything is resolved, whatever. You're like, yeah, I got satisfaction from that. You're seeking that satisfaction, but legit, you're not gonna get that until you leave. Your energy shook it up and showed them what life could be without being tied to these chains. You were a good example. Now, in order for this all to set in and change, you have to leave. And trust that your job is finished. Because that might be what you're understanding now, like what your purpose is, how you help change people, how you help change, excuse me. All right. How you change, you know that you change people, you know you change systems, all of these things. You're realizing this. And so it's like, oh, I need to like see this out. This is my job. You've done your job. And it's going to continue to be uncomfortable and go nowhere. Like there's a stagnancy because that night is the movement. And it's in reverse, so there's no movement. And then that Four of Bibles is like discord. And sometimes like, oh, sorry, I keep yawning all crazy. That's my divorce card, if you will, when it's in reverse. So you gotta divorce, you gotta divide, it's time to, the Fool card is showing up for a reason. It's time to move forward with this new okay. Sorry, I had to close the door. You're moving forward into this new, like your job was done, now you're gonna get the payment for it. Instead of you like wanting this neatly tied up conclusion. Your part is done. You know, it's like union. Like you have your job, you do your job solely. Everyone else has their job, they do their job solely. That's what this is. You're in a spiritual union and you're gonna do your job only, and your job was to shake it up or whatever, however that ended up looking for you. And now your job is done, it's time to move on. You're not gonna get this neat little, oh, and everybody made up, you know, it's like those after school programs, like the old school ones. It's like, you're right, Bobby, I was an asshole, like I'm sorry, Sally, like everybody come together and like all of that. You're not gonna get that until you leave. Either you're gonna hear about it or just trust your intuition, your gut, that your job is done and things are gonna get sorted the way it is. Wherever you are, if it's really bad, it may just have to blow up and everybody split ways or whatever it looks like. It may just be like it. Let's say if it's a job, you leaving, it might just have to be that the place shuts down so everybody's forced to go different ways. It's not gonna be a sweet little, like if it's bad enough, it's gonna have to just blow up and dissolve. It's not gonna, just depending on how things are, you know, whatever it is. And this is a whole other level. We have the Strength card in reverse with the Four of Skulls and the Hierophant in reverse. This is a whole other level of trusting yourself, trusting that you did your job. And that's all it is. This is why this is coming up. This is why things haven't changed, because you're like, well, I know this is my purpose, this is my job. Knowing when your intuition tells you to go, that's when you go. And that's a whole other test in itself. And that's going to help you raise in vibration, because you're trusting yourself wholly. Be like, all right, my job is done. My body is telling me I'm done. If you're exhausted, depleted, you're being told it's time to go. You're not getting anything from this. Like, let's say you lost, like you're losing your drive in like this fight that you're in. It's because it's time to go. Yeah. And I want to be clear on that. There are some fights that you just have to keep going. Like, let's say if it's like, your divine union or whatever, there's going to be a lot of undoing of trauma and shit like that. If you're both, working towards that, obviously. But if you're in some, like, let's say it's your family and they've always been toxic to you, they've always been, doing the triangulation bullshit, guilt tripping, all of that. They call you selfish, they don't do anything for you, blah, 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 all that stuff. You still fighting that and showing up as yourself, you're just starting a whole ass other cycle by depleting your energy and fighting. Like, it's like talking to a stone wall. Like, there's nothing getting done there. You keep doing it for a millennia, then maybe in that certain spot you're talking, it might be a little dented in from your breath and spit, whatever. But that's it. Yeah, and this is that insecurity of like, oh, I don't know, like it's like you deep down know it's time to go. However, you're wanting this, like, you're like, well, this isn't, like I said, our ego desires and our minds, it's soothing to get everything tied up into a little bow. And unfortunately with that Four of Skulls, like, that's not gonna happen. That's because this is a whole other test of trusting yourself. Like, yes, it's time to go. I know what it is. This Hierophant in reverse looks like a little piggy, so it's like that greed, that gluttony, like wanting that, like wanting. God, I keep yawning. So yeah, like this exhaustion you're feeling, you're done. Your body's like, bro, the time's up, homie. We're good. My stomach's making all kinds of crazy noises in my bed. But there's this insecurity of like, oh, I don't know if it's done. I don't know, like back and forth. It's like when you get an intuitive hit and then you're afraid to act on it, and so you start getting in your head about it because there's that insecurity of not trusting your intuition. That's where we're at. Look, freaking 9 of Viking horns in reverse at the bottom of the deck. That's 9 of swords in reverse. This is something you don't need to worry about. Your job is done. Get out of your head. This is like being in your head over bullshit and be like, oh, I don't know, like back and forth, to and fro, stressing out it, keeping you up all night, whatever the fuck. Like, am I making the right choice? Is this the right thing? Am I good? Blah, blah, blah. Get out of your head, because this is literally just tearing your blessings away from you. That you're doing the right thing, and as soon as you leave, like, everything's gonna be righted. But wherever you are, like, it's so bad that you have to leave. You're not going to be seeing this resolved. And your presence being felt, that absence being felt, is part of that, is part of this shift, this change. These gnats need to fuck off right quick. 5 of Hellfires in reverse. So what I'm getting from this card is you can't force somebody to see your way. You can't force them to see like their potential, where they're hurting themselves, where they're hurting others, all of that shit. Like you can't, unless they're willing and open-minded, they're not gonna get that. They're not gonna see that. The High Priestess. 6 of Skulls in reverse. 8 of Skulls in reverse. Ooh, 5 of Skulls in reverse at the bottom of the deck with Justice. Honestly, like, your job is done. It's time for the next hitch. It's time for the next job. It's time to the reason why, it's because your intuition is telling you, well, this is my job, like this is what I need to do. So that's why you're staying with that 8 of Cups in reverse. That's why you're staying, because your intuition is indeed telling you you're going to change this. Things are going to change. However, that part of it is, you're not, like, let's say you've witnessed things shift and change or whatever, or fall apart, however that's looking in the past. But this is like, with that 5 of Skulls at the bottom of the deck, which is the 5 of Cups in reverse, your light, joy, healing energy, it needs to be missed in order for the final touches to be done on what your job is. Like, let's say you're building a house and you just do the, I don't know, you just do the framing portion of that, like doing the structure of the house, not the final finishes or whatever. Like, you don't paint it, you don't put the texture on the walls, all of that. That's not your job. That's somebody else's. And so you hanging around, you're just in the way at this point, and they're not able to get their job. Like, you got to move your truck, you got to move your work truck, your tools, so they can do what they need to do. And in fact, you're like a hindrance at this point, because like your tools and your presence is just more of like not to say that you're in the way or a nuisance or anything, but it's like that job can't be fully done. It's like, hey bro, can you like move your shit? Your truck's parked in the way. Like, you know, stuff like that. Like, the next portion of this job to finally finish this house, you gotta go. Like, you're on to the next one. You're gonna get paid, don't fret. But you're not gonna get paid until you go. The payoff, like, and this is why, because you're not trusting your intuition. Ooh, I totally missed the Hermit there in reverse. That is crazy. This is to test your intuition and trust yourself that the job is done and you did your part very well. It's time to move on. And this is part of that leap of faith, because let's say you might be being held back by money. You just don't know what's coming next. Just know that until you, like with that Strength card in reverse, that's that insecurity, that your payoff, you won't get that fat check in the mail. And I'm not saying this may not be actual money that you get paid with, but an opportunity of physical possession, or like your health. Maybe you have health problems and you've been like doing everything and anything until you fucking leave this like toxic ass situation, and you're overworking for when your job is already done. It's time to go home and collect the check. But you won't get it until this job is done, which is you leaving. You finish that part. You did all the framing. It's good. It's right. Now it's time to go home. Clean up your shit and go home. Drag up, pack up your toolbox. It's time to go, buddy. Like, yeah, you hanging around is literally keeping you. So you, like I said, you might be fearful of money issues, whatever it is, all of that. You have to jump through that. You have to fight through that. Know that you did your job and you're going to get a fat ass payout, but you have to take the leap of faith and fight through this insecurity of like, oh, I don't know, the hemming and hawing. That's just part of it. You're not going to get this fat ass payout until you jump. The job is done. Your body is telling you it's time to go. You're exhausted, you're depleted, you're doing too much. You do want to go home. You have this desire to leave. And yet you hang around like, oh, what if my job's not done? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's done, honey. It's been done for a while. You're just hanging around. It's like the person that finishes high school that still hangs out with all the high school people, like to stay in the glory days. Like, like that. So it's time to take that leap of faith and fight past these fears. And you will get the payout. All right, babies, I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. I love you all. Bye.